Hello student, let's discuss a strategy for psychology optional for 2024. What should be correct approach for the preparation of psychology optional, even though you have more than 1 year for the writing of mains 2024, but don't perceive you have a sufficient time, because you have well distributed your time for the various tasks. So you must have decide some time for the optional also. In that, what strategy you should adopt for this optional, let's discuss that things. According to me or my institution, what will provide you, that I am telling you at here. The first thing, you should start your preparation from first NCERT, right? And this strategy is fruitful for the students, those who have even not studied psychology, or those who are belonging from psychology backgrounds. So this will benefit in the both conditions. So the first thing, you should start from NCERT. Even I'll also record the NCERT that I will provide prior my lectures. Like before the class, I'll provide you NCERT recordings. You must see that NCERT before entering in the class, because you will be aware before entering in the class with some relevant topics and words. So that will enhance your preparation. It is a law of Thorndike's, that law of readiness will enhance our learning. So first you should start from NCERT, or I will also start from NCERT. Then second is classrooms. Classes will be run. Like here I'll use my notes. I'll give you notes. I'll deliver lecture to you, so that you must go thoroughly by that lectures. That will be benefited to you. After completing the lectures, that you need to go to the PYQs, right? Because PYQ in any option is very much compulsory things, because we have noticed many PYQs. PYQ means previous year questions has been repeated by the UPSC, but their language and certain things has been changed by UPSC. So that you must solve the PYQs. Even what I do for the PYQs, as you know that my books are available in markets. In that, from 1994 to 2022, all the PYQs are mentioned as per the syllabus of UPSC, like Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, so that you should practice your PYQs as completing the Unit 1, or reading the NCERT, or completing the topics. After completing the PYQs, I'll also provide you that is approach classes. So there is approach classes. Approach classes are too much fruitful for the aspirants, because what should be the strategy to solving the questions, how to write, how to approach the questions of this unit, because every unit's question has been not handled or written by the aspirant in a same manners, because each and specific unit demanding certain things that you must follow for that. So that approach classes I record usually. This is I provided in the recordings, so you must use that approach classes. After the approach classes, then I provide you test papers. That you know, in my institutions I usually provide 4 test papers. First is 40 test, second is 40 test, and third is that is 24 test, and fourth is 15 test. So in a 40 test, 28 tests are sectional, means each unit have each unit have that's just like one test paper, and in each test papers there are the 10 questions for 10 marks and 6 questions for 15 marks and 3 questions for 20 marks, which is also followed by the UPSC in your final exams. So in sectional test, I also provide full length test, that is for 3 hours, and in a full length test as per UPSC pattern, so I follow at there. So similarly in this test also, in 24 tests there is 14 tests are sectional and 10 tests are full length, and in 15 tests there is 11 tests are sectional and 4 tests are full length. You are eligible to write any of the test papers after joining the course. So after the completing of approach classes, you can proceed your test one by one, and after the completing the test, what should be the next? Then we will evaluate our copy. As you know that here are the 2 evaluators and 2 professors. Those who evaluate your copy, first is me and other is another ma'am. So both will evaluate your copy. After the evaluations of copy, there is a model answers and then there is a discussion classes that I also will provide after that test. So this strategy or approach you should apply for each and every units. So first start from NCERT and end from that their PYQs and discussion and doubt and approach classes. But this strategy is provided by basically me for my students. But if in case of you are not going to join any institutions, so what should you do? First of all, you should read NCERT. There I mentioned the NCERT for class 11th, and this is 11th. What topics are there? What is psychology? This is first unit, methods of inquiries. So all these you should go one by one thoroughly, first from NCERT, and while you are reading NCERT, you should try to connect these topics with some government sources, which I have already mentioned into the other slides. Like there are other sources like NIOS materials, because few terms and few words are well defined into NIOS. NIOS means National Institutions of Open Schoolings. Their material I'll find, I also use in my class notes. I also try to convey to my students. You should also read and study them. Then there is EPG Pathshala's material. I'm very big fan of EPG Pathshalas because their diagrams and representations are very good in the psychology, especially in a few topics which is not given somewhere else, such like in the EPG Pathshala has given. So other is a e-Gyan course. Few terms are well defined, few concepts are excellently written at there. So you should go by the website and current affairs also, right? What I do for the current affairs, usually I'll going to record the current affair classes for the 2024 and even for the 2023. So that will be weekly classes. I'll record the lectures on the current affair on every Saturday, so that will be access to the students, those who are part of Psych keywords or maybe not of the Psych keywords. So it will benefit to everyone, right? So these are the government sources which I want to say you should must read and you should must prefer, and instead of that you can use some standard books for the preparation of psychology optional like Robert Barron, Atkinson, Hilgard, Cecily Smark, Swan and A.K. Singh's, and many more books you can use as per your choice, as per your topics, because I have noticed in psychology very scattered materials are available. Even I am trying to consolidate them because I am working on the books, so that maybe soon I'll release. But before that you must read these books, because these books are standard books that you follow for the preparation of psychology optional. After this, what you can do, just you must know what is the pattern of exams, because many of you have just going to start their preparation and they don't know what is the weightage and scores and what is the numbers and marking systems of the optional. First thing, most of the peoples believe that psychology is very common subject and they can write on the basis of common sense. No, it is a big myth for those persons who are thinking such, right? So what I suggest to you, in the psychology optional, do not write common sense, because common sense is not a psychology. Common sense is a common sense, right? But right now common sense are not common. So I suggest you that you should use few things while you are writing for the psychology optional, that I will tell. But first of all, you must know that there are the two papers. That first paper is for the 250 marks. Again, there is 5 questions. There is 8 questions are there. First questions have 5 parts. Then question number 2 have 3 parts. Question number 3 have 3 parts. Question 4 have 3 parts. Question number 5 have again 5 parts, right? So question number 6 have again 3 parts, 7 3 parts, 8 3 parts. So in that, first question is compulsory and 5th question is compulsory. After that, any of the 3 you can choose as per your choice, right? As per your preparation. So this is a pattern for the second paper also. There is a second paper. In a second paper also, that is there is 250 marks. This is a basic concept units. So what I suggest for the first paper, my suggestion will be different from the second paper. For that, for the first paper, what you can do, you must note down some exact or correct definitions, because I have noticed in the copies of the aspirants, they are writing the definition which is actually not creating the correct sense of that word. So I suggest you should go to define the correct from the sources of standard books. And even if you will see in the IGNOU's material, in the last of every units, there is written clearly some keywords that is appropriately defined. You can follow them. Even you can follow the topper's note, like that is, some notes are available on the YouTubes. So some notes are available on the several channels. You can follow them. But in the first paper, your definitions must be accurate, because definitions of accuracy of definitions reflecting that your level of preparations in that subject. Second, in the psychology, there is definitely some psychologists and their contributions. If you are writing psychological studies to justify your answers, so definitely you will score a good in the first papers. And third is there is some case studies or maybe some experiments. So you must use their experiments outcomes. Do not write the entire experiments, but you must use their case studies, experiments and important outcomes in your answers for the first paper. That will be too much fruitful for you. And then the third is diagrams. I always suggest you that diagrams are used by us significantly, because you know that if you will draw any diagrams into enclosed pictures or enclosed area, so their words will not counted by UPSC. In that situation, so you should draw diagrams, because diagrams enhance your artistic ability or representation capacities, that enhance your marks also. So diagrams representation is important. And the next what I noticed, that is examples. In the first papers, examples are very important. So I suggest you for the every topics you should must collect some fine examples. I have noticed in the aspirants they are sometime writing examples such as any specific part, like sometime child parts, child psychology topics, sometime they are like writing for any specific example. So do not write. Write a standardized example, like if you are going to write a reinforcement, best example is Nobel Prize, right? So do not write such childish example which basically and not helping in the boosting of your marks. So do not do that. So in the first paper you should must go by that, defining, psychologist and case studies and experts, diagrams, then there is examples. In the second paper similarly you need to also set certain strategies, because you know that in the second paper it is applied and the most of themes come from Indian scenarios like deprived groups, disadvantaged groups, and then media psychology or military psychology, women's psychology, right, educational, industrial, that is disadvantaged groups. All the psychologies topics are basically asked in the Indian scenario. So you must use some Indian psychological research, and even there is also definition should be accurate, like stereotypes has been defined by some time students that is so much vague, not able to justify their own. And even I have noticed in few copies they are totally copying from the Googles or for any other sources. So please avoid, because optional judging your efficiency rather than your cheating efficiency, right? So do not do that. So in a Indian psychologist you should use, and you should use current affairs, because right now all optional including psychology also, most of the papers they are setting, even any statistical topic they are selecting based on current affairs. It has been, I think, noticed by you also, and if you have not, you are going to first time. So while you are going to prepare optional, you must connect with the current affair, because current affairs of psychology is too much fruitful for preparing in your paper 1 and paper 2. So current affair is more important for the paper 2 as compared to first, but in the both paper it is required. So there is a paper systems which I mentioned at here. Then making notes, which I have seen students are making notes, that notes are incomplete, because complete notes give you confidence, and completion of the syllabus will give you again confidence and boosting your scores. So in the notes making, what should you must follow? First of all, that is syllabus. What is syllabus? You should go according to that, because if you are making notes as per your convenience, as per availability of resources, that is wastage of time. What I have noticed from 2011 till 2022, there is questions which has been asked in optional, almost that is directly from the given syllabus. Like if there is a brainstorming is given, so they are directly asking brainstorming. So whatever is written in the syllabus, you must prepare notes in your copies, because if you are derailing your notes out of the syllabus, so that is your risk. So I always suggest you avoid it. You should go according to syllabus. Every part of the syllabus you must have notes, and in your notes there is information, analysis, evaluations, critics, research, studies, all should be involved at there, because you must pay at least 6 months for your optional. By that optionals आप उसे रोटी खाने वाले हो. So I suggest you, you must go optional, go with your optional at least 5 to 6 months, because without 5 to 6 months it is injustice with your optional and with your preparation also. So you should go by syllabus, And second thing, you do not write too much elaborative notes, like should try to make a compact notes. Compact means which is too much fruitful only, that because that notes is not for others, notes is for you, for your understanding. So your second point, it should be a GIS type of notes, because GIS notes will be too much fruitful, right? So second thing is this. And in your notes, do not copy, right? Copy if you are doing, so that is totally wastage of time. You should write their own strategy, own words, right? Own understanding, right? Rather than just copying from others. So do not follow this while you are making two notes. And the fourth things, use some again keys and diagrams in your notes, because that same things you can copy for your final exams. So notes making is very important, and you should must complete the notes of every units what is in my sites. I provide the notes of every units that is totally made from the government sources, because those who have studied from me, they know that I never used to any private sources, even not any standard and so many books, because that was old things for me. And the next is the answer writing. After that, I have seen that many students or aspirants, they have prepared a very good notes and they have a good confidence, but that notes materials were not reflecting in their answer writing. So I suggest you should, answer writing is very important. Here I have selected the copy of one of aspirants who has written. So answer writing, in that what I usually search in the copies of aspirant, first thing is that interpretations of the questions, right? In the answer writing, you should write, you should read the question twice, thrice, because in the psychology or in the UPSC, some questions are not directly given. It is not a college exam. So in that situation, you should read the question twice and thrice, because incorrect interpretation of the questions will always disastrous for your answer writing and preparation. So in the answer writing section, what I usually do, I ask to every student should interpret right questions, because right question interpretation will give you good marks, or the giving you marks. Then the concepts, do not write too much facts, because I have noticed sometimes students are writing too much nonsensical facts. No need to that. Write your own concepts which you have made already in your copy. So that after the concept you must organize, because you are going to serve for the public. So you will connect with civil society. As in the civil society, that representations in artistic manners always liked by the society, right? So society will always like you if you will represent anything into artistic manners. So that arts reflects your personality also. So that organization is important and representation. So in the answer writing, you must follow 4 points. Interpretation of the question. For enhancement of interpretations, you can read the questions twice, thrice, how much you need. Then concept is important. Do not write too much facts. Like you have seen, I always said, mention in points, like what is that nature of memory, you can mention them, right? So I suggest you should go with a systematic manner which I have mentioned. So by that you can go with the correct preparation. And the last things is evaluation and mentorship is again very important for the optional psychology. In my system, first I will tell you that evaluations has been done by the 2 of the experts and mentored by one of the IAS officer. He is a great person, and so that in my systems evaluations has been not done by the any aspirants. It is done by the experts, or that who have already served for the psychology, or who had idea about the psychology, rather than just any innocent person, just done by many places. So there is evaluation, fine evaluation is required. So we are even starting a new batch for the psychology optional on the 14th of March. So those who want to proceed these things, they can even start their preparation with us. Like we follow first NCERT, will provide you NCERT recordings. After that class, before entering in the class, you must read that NCERT or watch the lectures of NCERT. After the taking class, there we will provide you all the PYQs classes. You must go through by the PYQs, because teacher is very smart. What he know, usually he try to teach, sometime maybe not touching the syllabus, what is actually important for the exam. So that PYQ is very important. And after that PYQs, then there is approach classes, then there is a test series, that all the test series are freely available for the classroom programs, but some of those who want to join the test series, so welcome to them, right? Welcome to you. And so that after that test series, you should evaluate yourself with us and with mentors, with our evaluations, how much you have prepared. So this is the entire journey for this will be the entire journey for your optional 2024. By this, if you will proceed at least 5 to 6 months, you can score good marks. So thank you. Jai Hind.